Now that you've installed Gamesalad, if you don't have it open already, open it up and you'll see this splash screen pop up. Your Open Recent Projects is going to be empty because you don't have any recent projects unless you've happened to work in Gamesalad before. There's a whole Learn section here on the right that has some learning information. Definitely you'll want to check that out. It has a direct link to the Gamesalad YouTube site so you can see video tutorials, things like that. Then the Create New Project area has a new blank project, which is where you typically start a project from. Also under that, be aware that there's these template files. Alien Conquerors, Platformer Template. They're little games or little demos already built and provided by Gamesalad. You can take a look at these templates after the class. Let's open up a new blank project and just take a quick look at the interface to Gamesalad. I'm going to maximize this. And here is the main working window from Gamesalad. You have a few options here. You default to the project info setting. Then you have a button for scenes. You have a button for actors. You have a button for tables, which end up being like Excel spreadsheets. You have a button for services, which for you might be empty. This is a pro feature. This is where you can have some advertising in your game. I don't think you'll see this in the free version. So if you don't, your screen is empty under services, don't worry about it. It's supposed to be. If it's not empty, still don't worry about it because you wouldn't be able to use it until you're a paid pro member. I'm going to go back to project info. There's a few other buttons up here. If we had scenes, they would drop down under the scenes drop down menu. We just have the initial scene right now, so there's no drop down, just that. Same thing with tables. We don't actually have any tables. If we did, they would be dropped down from this drop-down menu. There's a home button, which if I was, for example, in this scene, I could click home, and it takes me back to this main window with all this stuff. And there's some other buttons up here, web preview, publish, feedback, certainly a help menu, all things you might want to be aware of. Something else to keep in mind, for this class, I'm using the Macintosh version. As we can clearly see, I'm on a Macintosh computer, and this is the Macintosh version, the interface of Gamesalad. Be aware if you're a Windows user, your windows look a little bit different right now. And the interface overall for all of Gamesalad is slightly different. Like I'm just going to go into this scene, double click it. This is the Macintosh interface. If you're looking at this using the Windows version, your interface is going to look a little bit different. But all of the concepts are the same. Everything we do in this class, you can still do on the Windows version. It's just the menus might have a different format. They might be located in a different spot, but all of the same functionality exists in both the Windows and the Macintosh version. So as you get familiar with this and you hear me mention the behaviors palette, in the Macintosh version, it's right here, library behaviors. In the Windows version, it might be located in another spot. I'm not familiar with the Windows version besides seeing screen grabs of it, so I can't offer a lot of help as to where things are specifically located, but I know that you can make the exact same game in the Windows version that you can in the Macintosh version. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. If you happen to be on a Windows system, your screens are going to look different, but you're going to have access to the same functionality.